Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. First up, a quick look at the show at a glance. The Bengal battle turns tense after a stormy meeting between TMC and the Election Commission. The EC claims that TMC leaders shouted during the meeting, while the TMC alleges that they were told to quote-unquote get lost. The big question tonight: who really violated protocol? Later on in the show, a troubled two-week truce now in place, says Donald Trump backs Iran's 10-point plan, causing strikes against Iran. But tensions remain high. Israel continues strikes in Beirut. With Iran flexing control over key routes, the big question is that will this ceasefire hold or collapse? Viewers, we're just hours away from the first vote being cast in the 2026 Assembly election cycle, but the Election Commission and the opposition remain at loggerheads. A TMC delegation today met officials of the Election Commission seeking the removal of West Bengal Chief Electoral Officer, or the CEO. But what transpired in the commission room has now drawn all the attention. The Election Commission sources tell Times Now that Derek Robrand, the leader of that TMC delegation, had shouted at EC officials and even told the CEC not to speak. He was then asked to maintain decorum by none other than the CEC. But the TMC claims the CEC told them to get lost. Those were the words the TMC used to describe what happened and urged the CEC to release a video or a transcript of what transpired in the meeting. Now, following this meeting, the Election Commission also put out a post on a social media platform where it says that EC told the TMC that they will ensure fear-free, violence-free and raid-free elections. This was the straight talk that the Election Commission had with the TMC. And this clearly didn't go down well with the opposition. Now, questions are being raised about the fairness of the Election Commission, from Samajwadi Party to the Aam Aadmi Party. The opposition asks, is the Election Commission reading BJP's script? Now, Shiv Sena UBT Member of Parliament Sanjay Raut even issued a Juta Maro threat to the Election Commission. So has the Election Commission or the opposition crossed the line?
I want to tell you what the Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner, told us within 7 minutes of the meeting. Get lost. This is what the Chief Election Commissioner told the Trinamool Congress delegation.
इलेक्शन कमीशन की एक आंख फूट गई और वो आंख ज्ञानेश कुमार जी की है या और भी जो उनके तमाम सारे कमिश्नर हैं उनकी है। ये बात रिसर्च का विषय है, क्योंकि चुनाव 5 राज्यों में हो रहा है और सिर्फ पश्चिम बंगाल के लिए इस तरह की बात है।
इलेक्शन कमीशन की भाषा यही बता रही है कि उसने वोट तो डालने नहीं देना है, तो 2 टूक वोट रहित चुनाव करने की तैयारी है जो लोकतंत्र को खत्म करेगी। इलेक्शन कमीशन कोई पार्टी नहीं है। इलेक्शन कमीशन का निष्पक्ष होना एक संवैधानिक संस्था है, उसको बर्बाद कर रहे हैं।
बंगाल का चुनाव का जो पुराना इतिहास है वो इस बात को बताता है कि हमेशा बंगाल में भय की स्थितियां निर्मित करके चुनाव के वैतरणी पार करने के मार्ग बनाने की दिशा में कदम आगे बढ़ाए जाते हैं। लेकिन इस बार बंगाल में जिस तरह से वहां पर स्थापित सत्ता के खिलाफ वातावरण निर्मित हुआ है, वहां की सरकार के प्रति जनता का मोह भंग हो गया है।
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Let's open this up and take it across to our guest. Joining us with us is Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Anand Raghunathan, author, is with us. We also have Saurabh Chandra, National Spokesperson of the TMC. Nikhil Jain is a political analyst joining us on the show. Let me start with you. Sanju Verma, the allegation of the TMC is that they were told to get lost. And they say this is further proved by the fact that the Election Commission put out a handle on the ECI sweep social media platform X handle, where they have singled out the TMC and put out a tweet, something that is rather unprecedented, they say. Sanju Verma.
You know, Madhav, both after the 2021 Assembly elections and after the Panchayat elections in 2023 in West Bengal, not only the Kolkata High Court, the Supreme Court said Mamata Banerjee is culpable of dereliction of duty. Dereliction of duty was the word used. And the Supreme Court went so far as saying the license to hold elections is not a license to violence. If you cannot ensure free and fair elections, tell us, we will put in place an alternative mechanism. And when I mean you, I mean the Supreme Court referred to the highly incompetent and fascist Mamata Banerjee. So Mamata Banerjee के हाथ खून से रंगे हैं, हाँ या ना? जवाब है हाँ। ममता बनर्जी is singularly responsible for the Malda horror, where 7 judges, including 3 women judges, were held as hostages, and when they were leaving after a 9-hour ordeal, their vehicle was pelted with stones by TMC vandals and gundas. तो ममता बनर्जी और TMC dispensation की क्या आरती उतारनी चाहिए? I am saying डंके की चोट पर on your show, Madhav. First and foremost, I don't believe Gyanesh Kumar or anyone from his team would have used the term get lost. Derek O'Brien has zero credibility. But मान लो, get lost was what the election commission used. I say बहुत अच्छा किया.
No,
This was a long time coming.
That's not correct. No, that's not correct. Let's hold our horses here. First of all, there is no question of justifying any kind of violence, whichever state it may happen, whether it is West Bengal or any other state. If there is any, one second, allow me to conduct this debate. If there is something wrong that has happened in West Bengal, certainly there is police, there are the authorities, there's the NHRC, there's the High Court, they've all commented when there was pre-poll and post-poll violence. I'm not getting into the merits of the violence that has happened on ground. But the question that then emerges, Sanju Verma, is that the fairness of the poll body is what is coming under a cloud over here. Because it's not only the TMC that's saying it, you've seen what the Samajwadi Party has said, and you've seen what the Aam Aadmi Party and other political parties, including the Shiv Sena, are saying. So the larger question over here is that the opposition says here is an election commission that is biased towards the BJP. This is the charge that they are leveling. Let's come to that point, please.
Madhav, I just want to say one thing. Do you expect the TMC? Do you expect the Samajwadi Party? Do you expect Rahul Gandhi and his acolytes to say anything other than what they are doing currently, that is hurling reckless allegations? Rahul Gandhi said the Maharashtra election was stolen. The Election Commission gave him an opportunity on 6 occasions to come with data and prove his allegations. Rahul Gandhi 9-11 ho gaye. So matlab shoot and scoot politics is something that the Election Commission should quietly be listening to. An Election Commission apne haath baandh kar
Okay.
chupchap.
Let's get in a response from the TMC as well as Nikhil Jain. TMC first, I'm coming to Mr. Chadar, and the question is this. The allegation of the Election Commission is that it is not they, but in fact Mr. Derek O'Brien who shouted at the Election Commission panel. Now if you go by, it's one word versus the other. We certainly don't know at this point of time who's speaking the truth and who's not. But the point over here is that if the TMC leaders have misbehaved with the Election Commission, that certainly doesn't project them in very good light either. Saurabh Chandar.
First and foremost, a very good evening to you and a very good evening to all the panelists. I would like to simply state this. You have rightly said that it's one party's word against the other party in this particular case. So what I would want to, there's a feedback. I'm sorry, there's some trouble with the audio.
I apologize for that. I'm requesting my technical team to quickly fix that. But please carry on for the moment.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say is there's a very age-old saying in judicial corridors. Justice should not just be done, it has to be seen to be done. An institution like the Election Commission, which is one of the most important constitutional bodies, must maintain a certain degree of balance. Now, while you rightly pointed out that it's one party's word against the others, what are we saying? We are saying you release the CCTV footage, the security footage, along with the audio. Let it become as clear as day as to what happened. And then we'll know that who is right, whether it's Mr. Derek O'Brien or is it the Election Commission. That is all that we are saying.
Nathan, is that a fair ask? They just want the CCTV footage to be put out so that it's clear as day as to who has said what and who has done what. Do you think that's a fair ask on TMC's part?
You know, Madhav, let me make one thing very clear.
Another Nathan, please. One by one, please, one by one. Dr. Nathan, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, I can. Sorry, I thought you were asking that too. Yes, absolutely. I believe that's a fair ask. Yes, we are living in times where nobody believes the other person if there is no video evidence. And even then, you ask the video evidence to be shown for forensic analysis. But be that as it may, I think it's a very fair ask that if two quote-unquote warring parties are at loggerheads and accusing each other, then the only way out is either a Supreme Court judge look into it, sitting or retired, or even that would not suffice in today's atmosphere. So yes, a video footage of what actually transpired would be. But
Doctor, even judicial officers are now being surrounded, get out. We've seen that also happen.
That's what I said. So even the intervention of a judge or a judicial officer is not enough in today's climate. You need concrete video evidence, and even then, the warring party who's not satisfied with it might say, well, that's doctored, send it for forensic analysis. And when it comes back from forensic analysis, you would say, well, that was a government lab that undertook the forensic analysis, send it to the United Nations. Look, this is unending. The fact of the matter is that you have the Election Commission that used words that I wouldn't have used, to be honest. Having said that, it also must explain the fact that it has gone about the business of SIR in Bengal exactly like it should have. The results are there for everyone to see. The results that have come out in Bengal, 90 lakh voters that have been alleged to be disenfranchised. Out of that, 24 lakhs were found to be dead. 20 lakhs were found to have migrated. Now, that is a fact. The BLO went to each house 3 times to verify. Now, these are concrete facts. The fact is there are 700 judicial officers looking at the SIR exercise. Almost day to day, the screening has been done by the Supreme Court. And I feel embarrassed as a citizen of India because Election Commission is an independent constitutional body. It is embarrassing that Supreme Court has had to step in to verify what an already independent constitutional body is doing. So, but here I also must ask, my good friend Sanju, and I believe in exactly word for word what she said. Mamata Banerjee has blood on her hands, and I can prove it using the electoral malpractice that have happened, the deaths, political violence. But then I ask her, she's had blood on her hands for 5 years. Why did you not impose the president's rule?
Okay, before I go across to Nikhil Jain, that quick question from Sanju Verma. Quick response, please.
Let me say one thing very clearly. Be it Article 354, 352 or 356, नरेंद्र मोदी इज नॉट इंदिरा गांधी कि 50 बार आर्टिकल 356 यूज करके ड्यूली इलेक्टेड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को डिसमिस कर दिया. प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी इज आल्सो नॉट लाइक मनमोहन सिंह कि 11 बार ड्यूली इलेक्टेड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को डिसमिस कर दिया. वी विल विन द बंगाल बैटल fighting Mamata Banerjee on her turf electorally because that will be a legitimate victory. And I also want to just end by saying one thing. Each time, be it Kirti Azad, who calls election commissioner a thief. I was on a debate yesterday. Riju Datta called Gyanesh Kumar a criminal. Mamata Banerjee day in and day out calls Gyanesh Kumar a mafia boss. Mahua Moitra has crossed all limits. She addresses Gyanesh Kumar as Vanish Kumar. मतलब इन लोगों को कुछ नहीं कहना चाहिए, but the CEC को कटघरे में खड़ा करके CEC has to prove their innocence. क्यों भाई? As Mr. Ranganathan said, Election Commission is a constitutional body, via Article 324 of the Constitution. And I tell you one thing, as an Indian citizen, I don't care if you call me a bhakt. I'm very proud that Gyanesh Kumar has said the Bengal elections...
No, but Sanju Verma, that's where there is a problem. Till thus far, no chief election commissioner has been drawn into a political debate with political parties. They've always maintained their distance, because they have to be seen as a fair arbiter, as a fair umpire that's ensuring a level playing field. If you start behaving like political parties, then what's the difference between an official and a politician?
Gyanesh Kumar is behaving like a politician, Madhav. Why do you say that?
No, I'm saying if you don't see... Have you seen any chief election commissioner respond like this? Have you seen it? You tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Madhav, you are a very seasoned anchor. I will just give you 3 examples where chief election commissioners behaved like puppets of politicians. One was T.N. Session, who halted the general elections after Rajiv Gandhi died so that the Congress could get a sympathy wave. Second point is, a man called Naveen Chawla, who was made the CEC by Sonia Gandhi in 2005, and he was still the CEC when the Congress won the 2009 elections. And my third example is MS Gill, who was the CEC from 2001 to 2006, and was made the Union Sports Minister by Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh in 2008.
Sanju Verma, my limited point. I am not going to counter you on the facts that you have said. All these three are very controversial figures, but let me take that question across to Nikhil Jain. My limited point is in the kind of rhetoric and responses. Yes, even Rajiv Kumar has answered Mallikarjun Kharge, but he wrote a letter. There are ways to do it. At this point of time, it just appears to be becoming more confrontational than we've ever seen in the past. But Nikhil Jain, respond to Sanju Verma. She says it's not the first time it's happened. For instance, there is TN Session. He was extremely articulate about his, opposition to the powers that be. He was quite articulate. He would express his views also out there. So it's not happening for the first time. And this shows the independence of the body. Respond to him.
First of all, Madhav, I don't really know what is Sanju Verma's problem with TN Session, one chief election commissioner who everybody hails as one of the fairest in the country, including Prime Minister Modi himself. So I'll not talk about TN Session. So far as Naveen Chawla is concerned, the BJP did have strong problems with Naveen Chawla. The BJP actually wrote to the President of India, but did not follow the due process of moving a removal motion for him before the Parliament, which the opposition is today doing for Gyanesh, despite all the tips that the opposition has had with the previous election commissioners. And I'll tell you why the entire opposition, and not just the Congress or the TMC, but the entire opposition is acting like that. Sanju Verma says that the opposition is indulging in shoot and scoot politics. Here are the facts. 9 letters written by the sitting Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, no response of the TMC. 18,000 affidavits submitted by Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav and his party, no response. Indian National Congress, the principal opposition party in the country, an official complaint submitted on the vote chori allegations to the Central Chief Electoral Officer in Karnataka, no response. Complaints given by the Aam Aadmi Party during the elections, no response. This is where the problem is. We talk about video evidence. Well, the TMC did present video evidence. The TMC did ask for proper video evidence to be released when 30,000 Form 6s were accepted at a single office of the Election Commission within a matter of hours. The Election Commission said, we don't know where the CCTV is. In December 2024, the Punjab and Haryana High Court gave the Election Commission of India a direction that released the CCTV footages of the polling booths because of the discrepancies that were being alleged by the Congress and other political parties. And what does the Election Commission of India do? In connivance with the Government of India, overnight changes the rules, nullifies the judgment of the High Court, and then Gyanesh Kumar later on comes in a press conference and says, क्या बहन बेटियों की ऐसी वीडियो देनी चाहिए क्या?
No, but Nikhil Jain, as Dr. Raghunathan just said, the fact is all this is being monitored by the Supreme Court. If there were violations, Nikhil Jain, answer the question. 1 second, calm down and answer a simple question. If there are these serious violations in the SIR or any other procedure, why has the Supreme Court not intervened?
Documents has the name Madhav and the other one has Madhavdas.
Nikhil, please calm down and answer the question. We are not here for a monologue from anyone.
Like the grandson of the
Nikhil Jain, can you hear me? I'm assuming you cannot hear me and that's why you're not stopping.
To arbitrate on that. But
Mr. Nikhil Jain, can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me?
He can't hear you.
All right. I guess he cannot hear or he does not want to hear or is pretending that he can't hear. Either of those three, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. This is a debate, Nikhil Jain. Everyone has to take questions. But let me put that question across to the TMC spokesperson. Saurav Chandra, why is it that if there are such blatant violations happening, and perhaps there are violations, I'm not second guessing that you are right or wrong. But the point that Dr. Raghunathan is making is that if the Supreme Court is very clearly monitoring the SIR process, why are you not able to convince the court if there is such overwhelming evidence that wrongdoings are happening? Simple question.
Well, first and foremost, I will not get into whataboutery as to which there have been several allegations made by the BJP spokesperson that such and such person has said this. I can always quote the other side and say that these have been the quotations or the statements which have been made by the BJP people, BJP leaders in my state. But I completely concur and agree with Mr. Raghunathan. He is saying that the SIR exercise was necessary. I agree with him. It was necessary. Only thing that I have an objection to, a couple of things, is that the timing of the SIR exercise. You knew fully well that the population of Bengal is 10 to 12 crores. You knew that this would take a lot of time. But you started this exercise way too late. You knew that the elections would be taking place in April. You should have started this exercise earlier. Now, just one example I'll give you. It's a personal experience which I have been facing. For the last couple of days, I received a phone call yesterday from a friend of mine who is a doctor by profession. She has a legitimate passport. Her parents are mapped voters. They had been called for the hearing. Their names had been removed from the electoral rolls. They had been called for the hearing. One of the 11 documents is the passport. Other than the passport, the class 10 Aadhaar card, the class 10 admit card was also filed, was also submitted. And despite that, when the supplementary list is out, that my friend's name is not there in the voter list. Her mother's name is not there. Her brother's name is not there. They had all submitted these documents. So this is something which is happening, and this is only one example. There are hundreds and thousands of such examples. So do we really want to say that we are going to disenfranchise people like this?
Not taking that data to the court is a question Dr. Raghunathan is asking you. You can compile all this data. The court is monitoring the process. Why is that not happening? Because the same thing happened during Bihar. SIR, we saw a lot of complaints, a lot of allegations. But when the court hearings happened, none of that made it to the court. The question is, why is that happening once again in the case of Bengal?
Yes, and we are taking... Yes, we are taking the battle to the Supreme Court. We'll... I'm sorry, Mr. Raghunathan, I think that question was for me. I'll just finish this in 10 seconds. Yes. So, all I'm saying is we will take this to the courts. We will submit these evidences. Matter is still being looked into by the apex court. There are tribunals which have been formed. We will file an appeal. Only thing which I am pointing out is that there is a serious concern.
There may be serious concern. Okay, Dr. Raghunathan. Dr. Raghunathan.
Yeah, first of all, can I just say, Sanju, one second. Can I just say that Mamata Banerjee and TMC have made a catastrophic error. How on earth did they get such an erudite and polite person as a spokesperson? So there's obviously a huge mistake. Saurav has been brilliant today. But I'm afraid the facts speak otherwise, Saurav, if you don't mind my saying, because the Bihar SIR took less time than the Bengal SIR. And Bihar SIR was not monitored day to day by the Supreme Court itself. Thirdly, the fact of the matter is that when the Supreme Court is hearing everything that is going on almost on a daily basis, for you to say, we have taken this up with Supreme Court, I'm sorry, is wishy-washy, because had you done so, the Supreme Court would have acted on your petitions almost 3 weeks ago. Now it's a bit too late because the voting is going to begin. And finally, I cannot let my very good friend Nikhil off the hook when he says the BJP complained about Naveen Chawla. Surely this is a faux pas because the person who complained was the Chief Election Commissioner. He wrote an 80-page affidavit to the then president saying that Naveen Chawla is spying for the Congress. He attends important meetings and then goes out on the pretext of going to the toilet and conveys everything on mobile phone to Janpath. And what did the president do? The president made Naveen Chawla the Chief Election Commissioner before the 2009 election. This was the way the Election Commission was compromised. So please get your facts right, my dear Nikhil.
Respond, Nikhil, then.
What I said was that the BJP complained to the President of India for the removal of Naveen Chawla. If Dr. Raghunathan does not believe me, he can look at the BJP website. They have a copy of the letter dated 16th of March 2006.
Chief Election Commissioner.
NDA petition to the President of India seeking removal of Naveen Chawla. So what I said was nothing incorrect. I don't really know of all the many things I said, Dr. Raghunathan. This is the one thing you want to talk about. Instead of the fact that over 27 lakh people have been disenfranchised for something as little as the spelling not matching across documents, which we all know exists for everybody. Even my own father's documents, the spellings don't match. Some documents have some first name spelling, other documents have a second first name spelling. I'm sure that is the case with many of you as well. You have chosen to not respond on that, or the fact that the Election Commission has not responded to the allegations of the Indian National Congress, the Trinamool Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the Aam Aadmi Party. Every opposition party in the country is going after the Election Commission with documents, proofs, press conferences, yet the Election Commission does not respond. And lastly, on the point of Supreme Court, the opposition parties actually did approach the Supreme Court. It was on the intervention of the opposition parties that the Supreme Court deputed 700 judicial officers to adjudicate on these very logical discrepancies that I'm talking about. Yet 27 lakh logical discrepancy cases remain to be adjudicated upon. 700 judicial officers, 13
what happened in Malda? 1 second. Let's just go with what happened in Malda. What happened to those judicial officers, Nikhil Jain?
Decide 70 cases every
Answer the question, Nikhil Jain. Don't run away from the question.
Population of
no, this bluster is not going to take you anywhere. It's a simple question. It's a debate. What happened to those judicial officers who went to Malda is there for everybody to see. How they were surrounded, how they were hounded. It was at 11 o'clock in the night, 11:30 in the night. After 5 o'clock when they finished their work, 7 hours they were hounded and here out. Now the point is that all political parties will have to ultimately accept the verdicts of these judicial officers, otherwise nothing will be done.
Has the Supreme Court sacked the Chief Election Commissioner?
No, Madhav, these judicial is that to me?
Yes, answer the question.
Madhav, these judicial officers have given a verdict, but in 27 lakh cases, there hasn't been a verdict because there isn't enough time. 60 lakh logical discrepancies, 33 lakh decided, 27 lakh not decided. So far as the attack and the deplorable, horrible attack on judicial
I am sure if the Supreme Court is seized of the matter, they will know that there is a need for justice in this case.
Again, they have the administration of the state.
All right, Sanju Verma.
High Court is clearly on...
Sanju Verma.
Madhav, yeah. Madhav, let me make one thing very clear. TMC spokespeople on debate after debate say, we don't have any problem with SIR. We are concerned with the timing. Every 3 months, there is a state election or a panchayat election or a civic body election in India. There can never be a right time or the perfect time. The second point I want to make is this. Very clearly, you should hear this. When I say you, I mean your audience. 4th November, the SIR started in West Bengal. February 9th, the first draft list of Bengal came out. 28th February, the second draft list came out. 23rd March, the first supplementary list came out. 27th March, the second supplementary list came out. 3rd April, the third supplementary list came out. 703 judges adjudicated over 60 lakh cases. After adjudication, 27 lakh plus voters were found to be invalid. Itna sara process happened over more than 5 months. After that, Derek O'Brien, Mamta Banerjee, Kirti Azad, Mahua Moitra, what do they say? Gyanesh Kumar is the mafia boss. Gyanesh Kumar is a criminal. Gyanesh Kumar BJP ka agent hai. I'm sorry. I will not tolerate a constitutional authority being maligned by opposition hoodlums, Madhav. And I will just end by saying one thing, which is very important. What has the Supreme Court said? Even these 27 lakh voters who are currently invalid, let them approach appellate tribunal set up by the Kolkata High Court.
We'll have to leave it there. It's a much bigger debate. Certainly, of course, a lot of fighting on this issue that we've seen through various state elections. But today's issue, the reason we are debating it is that it's actually reached the Election Commission. It's not a war between political parties. Somehow it's a war between the Election Commission and particular political parties. In this case, it's the TMC. Who's crossed the line? We leave it to our viewers to judge. But Sanju Verma, Dr. Anand Raghunathan, Saurabh Chandra, Nikhil Jain, thanks so much for joining us this evening.